historians often find it difficult to determine typical audience members' responses to particular films, especially those from the early 20th century. Box office figures help little, for they indicate only a film's financial success or failure. They do not show what audiences found funny or frightening or moving. These historians often find that newspaper and magazine reviews fail to provide much insight.
Right. So we're saying that film historians find it difficult to determine typical audience members' responses to particular films. So film historians I guess film historians just find it difficult to determine what the audience members thought of these films, right? Especially from the 20th century. And the box office figures, or how these film historians determine this, not very much, because they only indicate whether the film was a financial success or failure. They don't tell us if these people watching it found it funny or frightening or moving. And these historians also find that newspaper and magazine reviews fail to provide much insight at all. Not at all, I should just provide much insight. Which of the following is most strongly supported? All right, so what kind of question is this? Katie?
It's a must be true question.
Yes. Some people call it most strongly supported question. I just refer to it as a must be true. Or what can we infer or conclude? So once again, this is a bottom down question. So we're taking something from the top and we have to find it in our answer choices.
Yeah, I just found two things and I was stuck between which of the two things was more supported, and I chose wrong.
Okay. Let's give everybody 60 seconds. If you did not answer this question, go ahead. If you didn't get to it, go ahead and try answering it. And Katie, for your wrong answer, I want you to think about how could you change your wrong answer to make it right.
Okay.
And then other than Katie, everybody put your responses in the chat once you're done. Whatever answer you get. All right. Katie, what were your two answers?
Mine were C and D.
Awesome. Okay. So let's start with C. The box office success of a film does not depend on its viewers finding it funny, frightening, or moving. All right, Mara, what support do you have for that? Why do you think that?
So I guess I was trying to link what was missing. I don't know. So they're assuming that because we only know the how it did financially.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off already. You said that we're assuming you're trying to link it, but is that what we're trying to do on this question?
No.
No, this is a top-down question. We're taking what's here and what has to be true. We don't care about any assumptions.
So yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. It's not what it's asking me. So that's why I was torn between C and D, and I see probably C is not the answer.
Yeah, Cora, what did you like about C, Cora?
Because I went back up to the only A film's financial success or failure, they do not show audiences what's funny, frightening, or moving. So that's why I because it said that, because it only succeeds based on the financial success, that I literally took that and I was like, that's exactly what C says. Then I was like, I like D too, because that's
Okay,
exactly.
so let's think about what this is saying. Box office figures help little. So they help little determine the audience members' responses to the films, and they help little to show what audience little, and they also, so box office figures do not show what audiences found funny or frightening or moving. However, do we know that the box office success does not depend on its viewers finding the movie funny, frightening, or moving? They might, maybe all movies need to be funny, frightening, or moving to be successful, but the box office, just the number alone, like if they were like, hey, movie A came out this weekend and had $1 million in sales. Knowing it had $1 million in sales, I can't tell you if that was a movie A was funny, if movie A was frightening, or movie A was moving. However, maybe the success does depend on it being one of those three things. We just can't tell which one is which. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought, but I still see why it's still a solid answer. I feel like if D wasn't there, then I still think C is correct. Like I think C is a good answer. I just don't think it's as supported as D,
Okay.
but
No, I don't think it can be correct because, well, maybe it could be true. D could be true, but we don't have the support from it. Like we cannot guarantee it from our stimulus with
okay.
100 with certainty, because we're talking about these film historians find it difficult to determine what the audience members' responses are. So do they laugh? Do they cry? Do they get angry? Do they go out and protest? That's what we're trying to determine. And the thing, the box office still doesn't help us determine what their reaction was, because these box office numbers is just a number. So they don't tell us if they found it funny or did they find it sad. Think of like, what's your favorite funny movie out there? Someone give me a movie.
Borat.
What is it?
Now I'm just laughing because I watched it yesterday. Borat.
Borat. I don't even know what that Borat. Is it funny?
Borat.
Brat.
Yeah.
Is it funny?
Oh, it's the one with Sasha.
Baron Cohen. Yeah.
Is it called Brats?
No, Borat.
Borat, and it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Borat that's funny, and give me a really sad movie that's amazing. Titanic. All right. So we have these two movies, and they both had $1 million in sales. If I just saw them as, oh, movies A had $1 million and movie B had $1 million, but I don't see what movies they are, can I tell you which one was funny and which one was sad just by the number?
Mm-mm.
No. And that's what we're trying to say here is we cannot determine the audience members' responses. What did they, like, how did they react to it? However, the ultimate success of the movie might depend on these things. A movie might have to be one of these things. It might not have to be all of them. It might just have to be one of them.
So
Don't
if the
know
word,
that.
if hypothetically the answer was the box office success of a film does not always depend, would it then be
No,
would that like
I think you're like, it would have to say the box office. It would have to say the box office success of a film does not show us if its viewers found it funny, frightening, or moving.
okay.
Because
Okay.
the main goal is the success. What this is saying is the box office success does not tell us which one of these things
Mm-hmm.
people thought the movie was. That is what our stimulus is telling us.
Okay.
Where C film historians, I love this, do not believe, so that's pretty weak. We're just talking about the film historians do not believe that film reviews in newspapers and magazines reveal typical film audience members' views. This has to be true because it tells us that the historians also find these things fail to provide much insight. What are we trying to find insight about?
The film audience members' views.
100%. So if it fails to do that, D absolutely has to be true. Do we see how D is like D's guaranteed? C sounds good. It could be true, but we just don't have the same level of support that we have for D. I don't think C contradicts.
Right. Okay.
Does that help you, Katie? I don't think C contradicts. I just don't think it's proven. I think there's other holes there that we could, if I was going to court, I would rather fight against C than fight against D.
Gotcha. Okay, no, I saw how D was correct. I think I kept staring at them and I chose C, but I still yeah, D is much more supported. Because I think what threw me off with D and what kept me from feeling 100% was that I don't know. I thought for some reason that do not believe was a more stronger than depend, because that's what I was ultimately arguing, whether depend is a stronger word or whether do not believe is a stronger word. Because I was comparing do not believe to much insight, which made me think there had to be like a little bit of insight. They were determined something. I don't know. But now that I'm like saying it out loud, I think that D is stronger. I just was stuck in the moment.
That's all right. Do we all feel good about this question? Or better at least?
Definitely better now.
Okay. Let's see what level of a question that was. I didn't look it up.